Hey guys, this is Mike with 5 Minute Guide. This video is going to show you how you can use Vlookup in Excel. Vlookup allows you to take data from an array, which is really just a table or a set of cells grouped together, and look up information based on the first column and return information from any of the other columns. So if we wanted to look up how many units that Charles sold, Vlookup would look up Charles, and then it would move over a row and grab the information from units sold. So we're going to show you how that works. There's a couple of different ways that Vlookup can be used, and we're going to try to cover them in this video. So, again, we're going to actually start over here. On my second sheet, I have my arrays or tables. That's just what Excel calls these groups of cells. This is an array right here. So I'm going to highlight all of this. I want to give this array a name, so I'm just going to call it salesman, and hit enter. Now that array, every time I highlight that group of cells, it'll say salesman. So I can refer to that group of cells by typing in salesman in the formula bar, and it'll know what I'm talking about. So now I'll head back over to sheet 1. I like to keep my data information on one sheet and my display information on another sheet. That's just a preference thing of mine. I've also removed all of the grid lines and put borders around the cells we'll be using. That just makes it easier to see. So starting in D5 here, we're going to create a Vlookup formula to find the gross profit that Jonas generated. That formula looks like this: equal sign, Vlookup, open parentheses. Now the first thing it's asking for is the lookup value. That's what you want to look up in the first column of your table. So we'll say C5, which is Jonas in this case. Then we'll put a comma. Next it's asking for table array. This was probably the hardest part of Vlookup for me because I had no idea what an array was for the longest time. So table array is what we named earlier. We called it salesman, just that group of cells. It's a table or an array or whatever you want to call it. So in this instance, we can just put salesman, and it'll know what we're talking about. If we didn't put salesman or we didn't have a name, we could click sheet 2. Highlight the entire area we wanted it to look up, and it's always important to start at the leftmost point and go to the bottom rightmost point. Otherwise, it'll get messed up. And then, of course, all the information that you need to look up, the reference information needs to be the first column, and then everything else can follow. So you'll see it's already named it salesman rather than giving it, V32 and stuff like that. So we'll hit comma again. Next, it wants column index number. This is very important. The first column is column 1, second column is column 2, third column is column 3. So we're looking for the gross profit, so we're going to put 3. And then the final thing it asks about is a range lookup. That's if it's an in-between kind of situation, if it doesn't have to be an exact match, which we're going to look at a little bit later, but this one we want it to be an exact match. If it's not exactly Charles, then we don't want it to return information on Charles. So we'll put false here. That tells Excel it needs to be an exact match. Close the parentheses, hit enter. So now it's telling us that the gross profit from Jonas is $16,445. So we can copy this formula, highlight down, and just hit Command V to paste, or Control V depending on what kind of computer you're using, and the formula populates straight down the list. And now each person matches what they've earned. So we can do the same thing for units sold. And you'll notice that when we do this, the names in this list are not in the same order as the names in the other list. That's okay because Vlookup looks specifically for the name. The order of the name doesn't matter as long as it's in that first column. This time, however, we're going to be looking for column 2 rather than column 3 because we want to know how many units were sold. So we'll put column 2. And again, this doesn't matter either. It can be 2 columns away on one table and 6 columns away on another table. It doesn't matter. And again, this will be a exact match, so we'll put false. So we see that Jonas sold 22. Now we're going to use the multiplier to look at what an inexact match or a range lookup looks like. So it'll be the same kind of concept. Let me show you the data set we're working with here. It's multiplier levels. At 1 unit sold, the salesperson gets 10% of their gross profit. At 10 units sold, it moves up to 12%, and so on up the list. So we want Excel to recognize if they've sold 9 units, they're still in that 10% range. That's what the range lookup is going to tell us. So we'll move back here. Multiplier, instead of looking at the name of the person, we're looking at units sold. So we'll hit equals VLOOKUP, open parenthesis, and the lookup value this time is going to be the units sold column. The table array, this one we never named, so we'll need to go to sheet 2 and highlight the whole thing. And you'll see now it says sheet 2 exclamation point G5 you'll see this time it says sheet 2 exclamation point G5 colon H10. It looks crazy, but that's just what that is. It just identifies all of the cells in the range. And we want it to look at column 2 because we want it to return what the multiplier level is. And this one, we'll hit comma again and type true. This tells it that it can be a range lookup or an inexact match. We'll close the parentheses. So the multiplier for Jonas is 13%. Commission is already set up to calculate based on the gross profit times the multiplier. So you'll see he earned a little over $2,000 based on how many units he sold and how much commission he made. I don't know what he's selling. Hopefully, apparently something expensive. $16,000 selling 22 of them. So that's pretty much it for VLOOKUP. It's very simple but very useful, very powerful tool. Get creative with it. There's a lot of other things that you can use this for. In a future video, we're going to look at how you can use VLOOKUP and the rank to sort your employees according to their performance. So you'll have the highest performing employee will always appear on top, lowest performing employee always on the bottom. And you can obviously apply that to many different spreadsheet applications. It doesn't always have to be employees. But if this video has been helpful to you at all, go ahead and please share this with your friends on Facebook or YouTube. Helps us out a lot. If you have any questions or if you have any requests that you'd like us to make a video showing you how to do something, go ahead and hit us up in the comments below. Thanks.